We're the Wild Center, this is Lunchtime Live. We're talking about nature and exciting wildlife. Encounters with otters and owls too. From Tupper Lake right to you. Learn about the plants and trees. There's so much to explore and see. Lunchtime Live, it's time to start the show. From the Wild Center, here we go.
Welcome to Nature Lab, everybody. This week, we're kicking off a month-long series looking at birds. So Morgan's prepared a great video all about unique characteristics of birds. So without further ado, I'll send you over to her. Have fun exploring, everybody, and I'll see you back here soon. See you soon.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Lunchtime Live. My name is Morgan and I am a museum fellow here at the Wild Center. Now this month in Nature Lab we're going to be covering a very unique set of animals, and that is birds. There are 18,000 species of birds around the globe, and they've evolved into all different shapes and sizes to survive various ecosystems, including the one right here in the Adirondacks. Now before we dive in, I want to know what you think a bird is. In just a few seconds, I'm going to have you pause this video, and I want you to either jot down in a notebook or make a mental note in your mind about a few characteristics that you think define a bird. So what makes a bird a bird? Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had some time to think about what characteristics define a bird. Now there are 5 main characteristics that make a bird a bird. Let's see if you had any of these on your list.
One characteristic that defines a bird is a beak. Though all birds have one, they come in a variety of shapes and sizes, depending on how that bird species has adapted. Some birds that are meat eaters have sharper beaks to rip through flesh. Others have long, thick beaks for eating seeds and insects. Wings are another characteristic of birds, but don't let this be confused with flight. Though all birds have wings, not all birds can fly. Think the ostrich, emu, and penguin as just a few examples. Birds also have bipedalism, which is just a fancy way to say has 2 legs. Feathers play an important role in birds by assisting with a variety of activities. Most people assume feathers are just for flight, but in reality, they can have multiple uses. They can also be used to help birds blend into their environment, stay warm, keep dry, and even to show off. In fact, while some feathers are adapted for flight, others might hinder flight but are there to appeal to birds of the opposite sex. Let's take a look at the feathers of a common loon. In a few seconds, I'm going to have you pause the video and think about what you think its feathers are used for. A common loon's feathers have a few different purposes. Out of all the uses we just discussed, loon feathers are used for waterproofing and display. As diving ducks, loons spend a lot of their time underwater, so it's necessary for them to have waterproof feathers to stay warm and dry. You also probably noticed the beautiful patterning on the loon's feathers. This is summer plumage, which is very ornamental for the breeding season. In winter, loons have a much duller coloration since they are no longer in breeding season. The last characteristic is egg laying, as all female birds lay eggs with a hard shell.
Now out of the 5 characteristics that we just talked about, only one of them is solely found in birds and cannot be found in any other type of animal. In a few seconds, I'm going to have you pause the video, and I want you to think about which one of the characteristics we talked about solely pertains to birds. Now the 5 characteristics we just talked about were a beak, wings, feathers, bipedalism, and egg laying. Out of all 5 of those, only one is solely found in birds, and that is feathers. Congratulations if you got it right. Beaks can be found in turtles, wings in bats, bipedalism in humans, and egg-laying in snakes, but feathers can only be found in birds. Now, the reason feathers are found in birds goes back 150 million years ago during the late Jurassic period, where birds actually descended from a very unusual ancestor.
In Germany in 1861, the first bird was found, a dinosaur fossil containing a single fossilized feather. Like birds, this early ancestor had feathers along its arms and tail. But unlike birds, it also shared the sharp teeth and bony tail of other dinosaurs. As time went on, this creature evolved into the birds we know and love today, losing their teeth and evolving beaks. Since the initial evolution of birds from reptiles, birds have evolved to survive in different ecosystems around the globe, including here in the Adirondacks. In the 6 million acres of the Adirondack Park, birds come in all shapes and sizes, from really small birds like the ruby-throated hummingbird to really big birds like a bald eagle. With around 19 orders of birds, the Adirondacks is full of bird diversity.
There are 18,000 species of birds around the globe that have evolved into all different shapes and sizes, depending on how that species can better survive in its respective environment, including the environment we have right here in the Adirondacks. I hope you all enjoyed learning a little bit more about what it means to be a bird today. Now let's send it back to Michael for a fun activity.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had fun exploring with Morgan. Your challenge for this week is to dive in a little bit deeper and think about your favorite bird species. If you don't have a favorite bird species, you can always pick one that lives here in the Adirondacks or one that lives around you and do a little bit of research. So what I'd like you to do is to think about your favorite bird species, give me a drawing or a diagram or some sort of description of that bird, and then think about how those 5 different characteristics that all birds share are incorporated into that species. So how has that species had special adaptations around those 5 different characteristics to make it a unique species of bird? So I hope you all have fun. Happy sciencing, everybody. And I'll see you again here next week. See you later, everybody.